All I know of the S-Crafts from Legend of Heroes 6 Trails in the Sky SC are that the old sprites have really good movements, so I'm quite looking forward to seeing what that's gonna look like. And of course, big thanks to Johan Stenfeld for requesting and funding this video on my sponsor.
Here I come!
Ah, I see what you mean. Yes, the movements do look pretty good. It's actually quite charming. They're so cute. I mean, obviously the remakes are like super cool, but I gotta say the movements really are very clean. I think the best way to put it is that it's very dynamic. That's so cute. And what before we go to this guy, but I actually quite like the fact that it's not super flashy in the old ones, because obviously as you play more, and I know like there's a lot of hours to this game, along with the other games that they have, just playing the whole franchise is like death to your other hobbies so that you can at least get through this. But I do like the fact that it's not so like flashy to the point that you can't, like your eyes are like dying. It's not like that. So instead it's like very muted, obviously because it's an old game, but it's done in a way where it looks really good and fun to look at, but at the same time, you don't need to like injure your eyes looking at it all the time. Yeah, see here, like they make good use of the effects, not just the movements, but the effects and how they do the storyboarding of like where exactly the sprite should go in order to make it look dynamic and more fun to look at. Also, I like how the enemies just become like, just like pieces of candy. See, look at all the effects and the planning they did to make it look dynamic. Wow, looks good. And now that I think about it, I could definitely see like how they were able to make it look good in the remake, because the original already looks good itself. And because it looks good, it was much easier for them to plan out like how exactly they can make it look cooler.
Shine down thy radiance. Smite those who oppose us.
Ooh.
Granting the strength to punish the wicked.
Yeah, that looks so good. I don't know if any of you guys have done like an actual like comparison, but let's use hers for example. I'll go back to where I was a little bit later, but if you kind of look at it right here, like I think she kind of does this in the remake, right? Like this pose and the movements. Okay, maybe not that. I don't think she did that right. But maybe I'm a little off, but I do like how they did bring about like actual inspiration from the old games into the remake instead of creating something completely new, which, you know, can be kind of much. But I think we're like right here. Yeah, we were done with this part. Yes, that was what it was. So I quite like that, because you can recognize the characters very clearly. At the very least with the main girl, I kind of noticed that. Same with the guy.
I call this Requiem for a Doom.
Even the flower, now to cut.
And the snake eye.
Dang! Yeah, these old sprites are very dynamic. The movements are like extremely smooth. Like if someone told me this was a game from like a long time ago, I don't think I would have believed them, especially if it was like pretty HD. Because the movements of the sprites is so smooth to the point that I'm like, how long ago was this again?
Is in my hands.
Oh, look at this, the effects, the way that they planned out like how exactly it should look. It's definitely very fun to look at.
Come on, everyone.
And the facial expressions and the details and movements of their hair and clothes. You know, they didn't really have to put in this much effort, but they put in a lot of effort. Like even here, if you actually look at the sprite closer, when she's opening her little laptop thing. Wait, what in the? I don't think that's what. Oh yeah, there we go. That's getting really confused. Okay, so you can see, like, look here really closely. And now all of a sudden, it's like bright green, so you can actually tell that she's looking at something bright. And then her hands movements. Like they didn't have to put in that much detailed effort, you know? But they did. And I think in the long run, I think that kind of work is rewarded. Mostly because people in the future are going to look back and look at such things and being like, oh, this company puts in a lot of effort into their games, even though they didn't really need to back in the day, but they did. Like even here, the movement of the accessories, the feet placement, it looks so good. Now I kind of wonder what the actual like remake S-Crafts are gonna look like for this one. I think this one's coming up, right? It also helps that they have really good voice and sound effects too. But the animation techniques they use here, like for example, right here with this guy with the sword, there's like a technique where you can have like multiple I guess like duplicates of them, so the movement looks a lot smoother. Obviously they can't like animate it extremely hard, so that might cause issues, but it makes the movement of the sprite smoother because they utilize such techniques without having to like overdo it with the frames. I don't really know what engine they used to create this, but it looks good. Like, obviously, the environment is what I would have expected from back in the day, but the smoothness and movement of the 3D sprites is very good, especially since usually they do like 2D sprites, but I don't think I've seen many like 3D chibi sprites, if anything. Or if they did, they wouldn't be like to this degree, I don't think. At least based on the brief moments that I just check out what they look like in other games.
May its holiest of lights act as our shield.
Oh, I just like how they make everything black. Easier to look at. And then they do the background effects and all that. What is this? That's so cool. Ooh. I think they would say things to you instead.
For the sake of my master. Get ready.
Looks smooth. I like the smart ways that they're animating the sprites. Because not everything is like fully animated, but they focus on like specific parts of the attack movements to create the most impact, but also by focusing on those parts for the animation, like at least having more frames, makes it a lot smoother, and you wouldn't like typically notice if there are any like sudden like movements because they're so focused on whatever they wanted you to focus on. The toads. They're like going back and forth like this. I love it. Dang, they animated the enemies pretty well too.
Go!
Rise, storm, from the space between sky and sea.
Ooh. Tempest dance. Ooh. Those effects look awesome. And it's a smart way to like not always have the sprites there and not have to animate them further.
Just die.
Yeah. These are so fun to watch. Especially since they're little sprites. They're all falling to the ground.
I'll bring you a fishing net.
Death magic. They're dead.
Now, die beautifully.
Oh, dang. Poor guard.
Your soul shall burn in the flame.
Or maybe I shouldn't say poor guard. If they're considered an enemy, that is. Oh wait, these are enemies, okay. Ow! Ugh. That's disgusting. Ooh! That almost killed that third guy, whoever it was. Yeah, I think I really like these sprites type of, I guess, gameplay, or I at the very least, like when they're putting in a lot of effort into animating it, especially if it's not like a 2D sprite. It's more interesting to see like a 3D chibi sprite doing these complex moves, considering the fact that most games tend to do 2D sprites, which tends to be a lot easier to animate, I would feel. But now it makes me wonder like what game engine they used to build this game back in the day, and how exactly what their, I guess, design process was for the game, and what they decided to focus on, and how and why they made the choices they did, especially when it comes to things like this with the S-crafts and the movement of the sprites. I would be super interested in seeing something like that. Just like you see or hear an interview of them talking about how they made this game. That would be quite an intriguing thing to learn. Do let me know down below if you guys have like somewhat of an understanding of what their thought process was when they were making this. And which one is your favorite from this one? I know there's a remake coming, but which one do you want to see remade in the remake? Like, what would you want to see most from there? Do let me know down below in the comments. And of course, be sure to click on the playlist right here on the screen and give us a like, comment below, subscribe, and share so you can see more videos like this. Bye!
Someone